What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood GM, your host, Coach Key, and welcome back to Legends and Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video like I do on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In today's video, I'm going to build an adventure using the GameMaster's books, and I've got a bunch of them. We're gonna get creative. As always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to further support the channel, hop on over to Patreon and subscribe to Legends and Dice Cafe. If you're interested in joining a game with me, I've got a few games on startplayinggames.com. I'll post all of those links inside of the description, including the link to the small Discord community. And without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we're going to build an adventure using these GameMaster's books. The first thing we're going to do is create a mission, like a goal for your adventurers, the purpose of the adventure, I guess you would say. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and pick my antagonist out. We're going to use the Dragon's book. These are super cool. Not only do they come with a little bit of information about them, it also comes with a hook, an encounter, tactics, information about a lair if it has one, and here go your stat block. So again, these books come with a good deal of information. I've already got one lined up. I picked one out so I wouldn't take up too much of you guys' time. I picked this character out right here, Zeus the Eternal, but I not only call him Zeus the Eternal, he's also the ruler of the underworld, which I added onto it. And here's the hook right here. So a party is approached by a golden dragon who has pursued Zeus for many weeks. They are encouraged to assist the dragon upon the promise of riches, prestige, or for future aid from the dragon. Upon their investigation, the group discovers a druidic cult that has grown up around the stories of Zeus. Its members will interfere with the party's plans and try to thwart them at all passes. So not only do we have our bad guy, we've got a hook for the story, and we've already got some encounters that we can throw in there with these cultists clearly. Using this for inspiration, I added that the golden dragon, her name is Lunar. Then the next thing, creating a location where they're going to be adventuring in, so that way that will help me get a good feel for the type of monsters that I might want to throw into these different encounters. And for that, we're going to use the instant towns and cities. Oh, and the dragon book, most of the books, at least most of the ones that I have, they all come with 3 one-shots inside of them as well. So you've got coastal areas and oceans, you've got deserts, forests, hills and grasslands, you've got mountains, you've got swamps, you've got underground. There's some random tables in the back that we're going to look at as we continue to create our adventure. And I've already picked out my location. I'm going to start the adventurers in a village or start a PC. This might be a solo play. We don't know. I'm going to start my PCs inside of Brookwater Ferry. So they're going to be in these hills and grasslands in this small village. Give you information about the population diversity, languages, resources. It's got some cool stuff inside of here. Then it has this cool section right here, places, people, and people of interest. So the river spills Brookwater Ferry into 2 equal portions known as East Ferry and West Ferry. The 2 halves of the village are very competitive and spend most of the year trying to outdo one another. Each ferry is managed by Giantkin Elder Ferris Knox, a priest who works in conjunction with his counterpart in the west, a half-orc elder, Herla Grimtooth, a noble, to run the settlement in the best interest of the city. So now we've got more NPCs. I've got my mission, I've got my location, and whenever I create a village, I do like to create other areas, different locations within that village that the PCs can visit. A lot of times they really don't go exploring into that village area, but I do have some stuff ready just in case they do. Using this section, roll for inspiration, you've got a section for taverns. From here, I picked out the name Flooding Fish Tavern. And then for shops, I figured I wanted to have like a blacksmith. I named it Jack's Blades. I just took the idea from here, the blade and the flame. And then I wanted to have a psychic in there just in case they wanted to go there. They could gain some information possibly about the journey ahead. So I named it Maggie the Psychic after this right here, Maggie's Miraculous Mannery. And then I have Abraham's Alchemy, which I figured would be maybe like a potion shop right here. Abraham's Alchemies. And then I had a shop name. I haven't figured out the shop name yet, but I wanted it to be just some basic equipment. We've got some cool locations inside of our village that the PCs had the ability to explore if they so see fit. So, and then after I got my location, the next thing I would do is create a little list of monsters. The type of monster, since I know the location and where they'll be exploring, I know I have a good idea of what type of monsters to possibly throw into the mix. For the monsters, I'm going to come back to this dragon book. Oh, and of course, remember I told you the majority of them do have one-shots in the back, 3 different one-shots. So got your background, adventure location, setting it up. It's got some really cool maps inside of. This is the first one that I have that the maps are color. Like I said, I create a little list of monsters and I randomly throw them in when I see fit. What I did pick from here was I picked out the Cobalt Brute, the Cobalt Scoundrel, and the Drake of Displacement, a phase rate. And then the other Game Master book that we're going to use to add a couple more options of monsters is the Villains, Minions, and their Tactics. This is another awesome, cool book. It gives you a little bit of information, rising rumors for the GM, and you've got goals and motivation, story hooks, and building tension. You've got an encounter, you've got tactics, stat blocks. You even have treasure. You have suggested levels and scaling if you're doing like 5e. And again, this one also has the one-shot, 3 different one-shots. Just for timing purposes, I've picked a few out already. I've picked Aura of Black Venom, Mog the Troll. And then the last one that I have is this being right here, the Created. And the next thing that I would do, creating a cool adventure for any system, I would create a list of treasure that they can find all over, gold, magical items, anything. I create a nice little list, and then I just randomly pick from that list and sometimes place where it seems fitting when the characters come upon it. And when it comes to the treasure, it's going to be specific to the system that you're playing with. Next thing I would have is PC info, information that I would probably pass to the psychic to pass to the player, just information that they can find randomly inside of the world on the adventure that will help. Then I would have a small list of like 3 to 5 random encounters, and you see all the books have a bunch of different random encounters, but I would probably create these random encounters on my own using the list of NPCs as well as a mixture of the list of monsters. And then the next thing that I would do is create some maps. I'd have map for that village, Brookwater Ferry. I would have a map for the different random encounters so that I can throw into the game. And then of course the dungeon, because like I said, at the moment they're going to definitely be looking or delving into a dungeon below the temple that is at the bottom of the mountain. But you've got a lot of options inside of these Game Master's books for maps, but I personally I create my own maps. The next thing that I would do is I would create a list of puzzles and traps. So it's got one-shots inside of here as well. It's got traps, painful traps, deadly traps, destructive traps, complex traps. It's got puzzles, my favorite, rhymes and riddles, ciphers, and gateway puzzles. What I would do is typically come in here. This would also be an encounter that I would throw into it. So for instance, this door right here, one of the NPCs took them to a bridge, a crystal bridge that brought them to a wall. And then this spirit came out with a book in their hand and they read them out this riddle. And instead they ended up fighting this creature. The creature dropped a piece of paper with the answer to the riddle, which was a door. When they said it out loud, a door appeared and they were able to exit. So, and I'm going to show you an example of that, how I have this right here. This is for a game that I'm currently running at the moment. And I have my rhymes and riddles section, and I have the page number and the number so that way I can easily locate it when it's time to use it and throw it into a game. And the next up, which is the last thing, okay, would be my list of NPCs. And for that book, the Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters. So you've got one-shots inside of here, 3 of them as well. You've got big city, small towns, outskirts and outposts, and underdwellers. And of course, you have a side quest generator back here. We've got the small town tenant, common folks. So they've got some really good information, some good fluff for each of the characters. We've got wants and needs, secret or obstacle, and carrying and what they're carrying. What I would typically do when playing any game and running any game, I would typically just put it in this, keep it in this section right here, and then have a few pre-planned that I already like that I can kind of run off of and play with. Your first name, last name, you got a brief description, wants and needs, your secret or obstacle, and what you're carrying. So this is also a really simplified table for your NPCs inside of here. But I would keep it on this table. So I wouldn't even write this list down. Again, I would just keep them handy and then write notes as I'm using them along the way. Let's go over what we have created using these Game Masters guides. So we have a mission. The mission is to help Lunar, the gold dragon, track down Zuth, the Eternal, the ruler of the underworld, and destroy him before he can locate. And I added in a magical red book that will make him immortal. And we've got some encounters already. We've got the Druidic cult that is helping him, that is helping Zuth on his quest in hopes that they can obtain power and wealth through their loyalty. Then we have a location where these adventures are going to take place. It's going to be like a small village, and then forest, mountains, and maybe some possible encounters around some lake as they're traveling. And then inside of the location in the starting point is going to be the village Brookwater Ferry. We've got Lonely Light Library, the Veiled Chapel, Flooding Fish Tavern, Jack's Blade, Maggie the Psychic, Abraham's Alchemies, and I have yet to create the name for the shop, which is going to just sell random equipment and stuff. And then we have a list of monsters from the books as well, that we can pull from and throw in along the way. We have a basic layout for creating your adventure, your prep from start to finish. Your mission, your location, your monsters, list of treasure, PC info that you would just info that the characters can learn along the way about the adventure, about maybe Zeus, the antagonist, and so on. List of random encounters, 3 to 5. You would create your maps if you like it that way, unless you just want to do it straight theater of the mind, which is super awesome. I do theater of the mind in between utilizing physical maps, puzzles, and traps if you like that kind of sort of thing. A list of NPCs and my key NPCs. And that is going to be it for today's video. So I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you comment and make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I post on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I also go live on Mondays and Tuesdays now. See you guys back here next week, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless you come and hang out with me on live on either Sunday or Monday. And I hope you have a fantastic Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you guys later.